the Niners have a lot of injured players right now. D Ford, George Kittle, Richard Sherman, Deebo Samuel. I'm missing guys, but those are the big ones. In your opinion, which absence is most important to the Niners? Which one will affect them the most over the next few weeks? Who can they least afford to not have that they don't have right now? Who's starting? Maverick?
Yeah, so I think I would normally say Sherman. I think if it was a different couple opponents the next couple of weeks, I would say Sherman. But having Deebo Samuel on the field after watching the offense last week, I think whether it's a trust issue between wide receivers and quarterbacks, a lot of people have been showing Dante Pettis film where he was open on a lot of plays and Jimmy wasn't even looking his way, whether that was deserved by Pettis or not to not be looked at. But I think not having Deebo Samuel, whether it's the motions on the offense that creates a lot of movement or just pass catching, it hurts the offense a lot.
Strong answer.
Okay. I'm going to take a wild card here. 2017 Jimmy Garoppolo. That's who
I
they're
like
missing.
that. I like that. Go for it. Okay.
That's who they're missing. That's who they need. I don't care about the interceptions because he's a gunslinger. It's going to happen, especially when you throw the ball over the middle. It's going to get tipped and land in some linebacker's lap. They need 2017 Garoppolo. That defense was terrible in 2017. Still took them to 5-0. They have an elite defense now, or a top 3 defense in the NFL. And 2000 Jimmy Garoppolo is nowhere to be found. If they can find him, that same guy, who's going to beat this team? They need.
It's a hell of a question. It's an unfair question. It's an unfair answer, but it's a great answer. I like that. Good job. What's up, Nick?
To piggyback off of Leo, and then I'll get into who I feel like is the player they're going to hurt the most. I was revisiting something Colin Cowherd said about Jimmy Garoppolo after he beat the Cardinals last year and how he was talking about Jimmy Garoppolo has the it factor. He has quote unquote quarterback face where the guy looks like a quarterback. He has the confidence, carries himself with this sort of edginess, cockiness to him. And even Chrissy, the new addition to the SI team, she even had this great column about how when the feels great, baby, talking to Aaron Andrews, that was Jimmy Garoppolo at his highest. He had that swagger. He had that edginess. He had I'm the guy attitude. He had all of that. And he carried that with him through the gauntlet of the schedule into the postseason. And then you have the Emmanuel Sanders overthrow, and I truly do believe it's in his head still. And it's crazy that after 30 start, this will be his 30th start, I believe, with the 49ers coming up on Sunday if you include the postseason, and you still don't know what quarterback he is. You don't know if he's that top 10 quarterback. You don't know if he's in that bottom quadrant of quarterbacks. He can really his play fluctuates so much. And then maybe that's just who he is. He's going to be a guy that's super up and super down, kind of all over the place. But anyway, going back to the question at hand, they're going to miss Kittle the most. He's the heart and soul of the team, like Grant touched on earlier. He helps make this offense click. And I'm going to throw in that I don't think the team's going to feel Richard Sherman's absence at all over the next 3 weeks because the pass rush is going to get home and they're going to play so well looking at some of these upcoming offensive lines that whether it's Mosley or Witherspoon, who I think might be your 2 starting cornerbacks in 2021, I don't think Sherman's presence on the field will be missed that much.
I was waiting for someone to say George Kittle. I thought we were going to make it through without anyone mentioning George Kittle.
No way.
It had to be skinny George Kittle.
Kittle's is fine. You know, he's look. I was going to go with Kittle's too. But when I saw him play against the when I saw the offense play against the Cardinals with him on the field and no Deebo Samuel, it reminded me of 2017 and 2018. It wasn't a particularly dynamic offense. Kittle's been on this team a long time. They've lost a lot of games with Kittle on the field. Nothing against Kittle's, because Kittle's is a pretty good player. But when this offense took off, it's when they got Deebo. And I always thought, well, maybe he's just a rookie. Maybe his impact, he can't really compare it to Kittle's. But look at the offense without Deebo. I mean, all of a sudden, the creativity's gone. The run game isn't as effective. Raheem Mostert isn't as effective. I think he's the electric element of the offense that freaks out defenses more than Kittle. He's faster than Kittle. He's more versatile than Kittle's, excuse me. I think Deebo is the one that they cannot afford to lose. And until he comes back, we're going to see kind of a plodding offense.
That's fair.
We'll see. Yeah. Deebo's fair. Right. That Super Bowl, he should have got more touches. That's fair. Look what
In that Super Bowl,
game.
he was the number one guy that Shanahan wanted to call plays for, not Kittle, right?
Not Juszczyk.
Well, Juszczyk, no, I think that's a good question. I used to think that Juszczyk was the X factor on this offense, but I think it's Debo. I mean, they lost Juszczyk for a few games last year, and they were fine. They lost Kittle for a few games last year. They were fine. Now they've lost Debo, and their offense looks vanilla, boring, mediocre. I think it's Debo, but I guess we'll find out over the next couple of weeks.